I can tell the new school year is quickly approaching because the most common question I've been asked lately is, what are the must-haves for homeschooling? Whether you're a seasoned homeschool parent or just starting out on your homeschooling journey, it can be overwhelming trying to sort the needs from the wants in the world of homeschooling. To inspire you and hopefully help you better navigate the start of your homeschooling year, I've decided to share my top 10 must-haves for homeschooling. Welcome to the village. For those of you visiting the channel for the first time, my name is Carrie Triplett. I'm the headmaster of Tri-Village Academy, an umbrella school located in the Mid-Michigan region that supports homeschooling families nationwide. If you've been here before, welcome back and thank you for tuning in. Today, I'm going to share my top 10 favorite must-haves for homeschooling. Coming in at number 10 is clay. As a Reggio Emilia-inspired educator, I try to offer my students a variety of languages or opportunities through which they can display their understanding and knowledge. Often, a favorite language or media used within our classroom is clay. We use homemade Play-Doh as well, and I'll link to my favorite recipe down below. But there's something extra special about clay. Maybe it's the additional time, or patience, or strength that the clay requires to shape and form just so. This air-dry clay from Crayola is perfect for creating scientific models of cell structures, replicas of historic artifacts, relief maps, dioramas, or ornaments for the holidays. The educational opportunities are truly endless, and you're probably going to find yourself wanting to make your own clay creations alongside your students. My 9th favorite must-have for homeschooling is a globe, or a map. It is rare that a single day passes in our classroom without someone needing to reference a map or a globe. Often, our class discussions or literature will lead us on a path of discovery, looking to chart distances, compare sizes of countries, find a certain landmark, or locate a specific city. This is probably why we have several globes and maps, easily accessible throughout our learning space. One of the most popular is the Leapfrog Magic Adventures globe. There are settings for children to learn about countries, continents, flags, currency, population, geology, landmarks, capitals, languages, and my students' favorites, animals. Children of all ages can explore the globe freely, or use the quiz show option to test their knowledge of the globe either by playing as an individual or against a classmate. Best of all, the globe is easily charged to be used over and over. My 8th favorite must-have is the game Guess Who. If you're like me and a child of the 90s, this game probably takes you back. While it's a great game to teach even the littlest learners how to ask questions and make observations, the purpose of this game extends well beyond that within our classroom. There are some incredibly talented and creative souls on Teachers Pay Teachers and Etsy who are selling card sets for a variety of subjects, taking this simple childhood game to the next level. By trading out the character cards for customized sets, we have used this game to study and review topics such as Greek mythology, dog breeds, characters from Shakespeare's plays, the elements of the periodic table, and so much more. If you can't find a set that you're looking for based on what you're planning to study, there are a lot of blank templates out there that allow you to create your own. This is a fun way to get students thinking about the connections, similarities, and differences in the material they are studying as they work to formulate questions and remember details. I'm looking forward to incorporating this game into our school year yet again for our Human Anatomy unit study. My 7th must-have for homeschooling is a microscope. Even the youngest of learners can appreciate viewing the world through a different lens, and it's never too early to start teaching students how to use and care for tools. For this reason, I suggest purchasing a microscope sooner rather than later. It is so easy to say, my kids are little, I'm not going to be needing that for a while, not until they're older. But think of all the cool learning opportunities and lesson extensions you'll be missing out on. Sometimes my students find a feather while out on a nature walk or a cool rock, and they want to bring it inside to look at under the microscope. This up-close viewing is a great way to take nature journaling to a whole new level. Or the students might notice that the pond water is a different color from the rainwater, and they want to compare the two, close up. So, let's take a closer look. There are so many ways to incorporate a microscope into your classroom learning now rather than waiting for a high school level biology course later on. We actually incorporate 3 different types of microscopes within our classroom. Pocket microscopes, which are great for nature exploration on the go. A digital microscope, which has a big digital screen great for viewing objects close up and in greater detail. And a more traditional lab microscope, which is great for learning how to prepare and view slides. My suggestion is to think about which kind of microscope would best fit your classroom activities. Then research and price compare to find one within your budget. I'll link our favorites in the section below. My number 6 must-have for homeschooling are Legos. Kind of similar to the open-endedness of clay, I love having Legos in our classroom as a language through which students can showcase their knowledge and understanding. Whether using instructions or building creatively, Legos are one of the single best resources for developing spatial skills, problem solving, patience and persistence, and so much more. In a group setting, Legos encourage students to work together, planning, communicating, and functioning as a team. This is one classroom material that I can safely say my students use on a daily basis, whether during a break time as a method of play or as a means to develop a larger project. For math, Legos can be used to deepen a student's understanding of place value, pattern creation, shapes, addition and subtraction, multiplication tables, or area and perimeter, just to name a few. For history, students can use Legos to study the architecture of ancient civilizations, create towns with resources and local governments, build models of famous landmarks, or recreate scenes from a historical event. From scenes taken out of a book for language arts to creating a molecule for science, this one resource serves so many purposes within a classroom, crossing subject matter and encouraging creativity. My absolute favorite use of our Legos is our annual haunted house competition, where students develop spooky storylines alongside their Lego haunted house builds. Students then get to vote for the spookiest, most original stories and builds. Even my most reluctant storytellers get into the spooky spirit of this challenge, and I cannot wait to see what they come up with this Halloween. Now, I know that Legos sold in sets can be a bit pricey, so my suggestion is to shop local yard sales, secondhand shops, and even find deals on sites like Etsy or eBay. Yes, occasionally I splurge and purchase new Lego sets for my students, but the majority of our Lego collection has come from random grab bags that are sold by the pound. It has taken a while to build up our Lego collection, but it is so worth it. I'll link to some of my favorite eBay Lego suppliers down below. My number 5 for must-haves for homeschooling are these mixed media books. I love these blank multimedia books. I think of them as textbooks that my students get to create, filling the pages with their knowledge of what means the most to them. Students can fill one per year, or one per subject area, or one for each topic of study, whatever works best for your classroom and your budget. The pages allow for watercolors, acrylics, colored pencils, crayons, markers, you name it. Perfect for journaling or creating what I call a main lesson book. This would be one book dedicated to a specific topic of the child's choosing. The one requirement that I have is that each picture must be accompanied by text to make sure that the art of writing is included with each assignment. We've used these for literature studies, nature journaling, and comparing world cultures. Some students approach these books almost like a scrapbook, taping and pasting together collages on their topic of study. I appreciate that these books offer my students the opportunity to express their knowledge in a way that fits them as individuals, choosing which medium they wish to work with on a particular day, and selecting what information is most relevant to place within the pages of their books. I highly recommend keeping several of these, or multimedia books of a similar style, on hand within your classroom. Check the section below for the link. To go along with the main lesson books, my number 4 must-have for homeschooling is the Sprocket. This little device is one that we love to use alongside the main lesson book creations, as well as in writing letters to pen pals, journaling, or just documenting the everyday learning that takes place within our homeschool. The Sprocket is a portable printer that links directly to my phone. Students get to select the picture from my phone that they wish to print, and the Sprocket will print it out onto sticker-like paper, which they can then add to their journals, portfolios, main lesson books, or alongside a letter to a pen pal. I love that it doesn't take up much desk space and that it's easy to fit into a purse for homeschooling on the go. Setup is easy, and I say this as one of the most tech-challenged people I know. The picture size is perfect for placing into a standard size envelope to share with a pen pal across the country or across the globe. I will link the Sprocket printer and the refill packages down below. My third must-have for homeschooling is storage. Storage, storage, storage. Ask any teacher, homeschool or not, what is one thing that you need within your classroom? I guarantee that the words storage and organization come up more often than not. While I enjoy giving my students flexibility and choices, I find this is only successful if there's a method to the madness, and part of that method requires thoughtful preparation of our learning space. With multiple students of different grade levels working alongside each other every day, the homeschooling classroom can quickly turn into a place of chaos. It helps to give each student a place to house their materials. One of my favorite storage solutions for my older students are these 6-level roller carts. The top level can be used for storing things like writing utensils, Kleenex, rulers, scissors, tape, while the other 5 levels are used for things like folders, workbooks, and assignments. I give my students the option to organize their carts according to subject matter or days of the week, whatever method best works for them and their learning style. Not only does this help the student to learn organization skills, it also teaches independence and responsibility. This is just one of the storage solutions that helps to keep our classroom tidy, but I'll share a few more in the links below. My number 2 must-have for homeschooling are books. I know I've said it before, that I love reading aloud to my class. It is truly my most treasured time during the day with my students, and I hope that it continues to build their love for literature. It comes as no surprise then that my number 2 must-have for homeschooling includes read-alouds. I decided to share with you a few of the books that I've selected for our 2023-2024 school year. For my 1st and 2nd grade students, we'll be studying Michigan's early history, so 2 of the books that I've selected, Traders in Time and Journey Back to Lumberjack Camp, were written by Great Lakes historian and author Janie Lynn Panagopoulos. I was fortunate as a young girl to meet this author, and I happen to think the world of her. Her stories bring history to life, and she's a true inspiration for young people interested in history and in writing. I'm excited to include these 2 books in our early Michigan curriculum this school year. For my older students, I'm combining language arts with history, music, and art studies to create a humanities course. We'll cover the topics of World War I, the Roaring Twenties, the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl, World War II, and the Holocaust. These are some big and heavy topics, so I wanted to be mindful in selecting our read-alouds. A few of the titles that I've selected to be a part of our curriculum this school year are Pax, The Diary of Anne Frank, The Children's Story, and The Book Thief. Our reading list for this course and for the school year is rather lengthy, and I didn't want to take up too much time going through each individual selection. But if you're interested in hearing more about the other books that we'll be reading as a class, or how I designed our humanities study unit, leave a comment down below. It's time for my number 1 must-have for homeschooling, and this is it, the Plum Paper Planner for Homeschool. And honestly, I would be lost without it. Just like classroom storage for organization, this planner stores my students' goals, lesson plans, assignments, and progress all in one place. I am one of those people who would switch planner brands every year, hoping to someday find the planner that had everything I wanted to fit my teaching style and classroom. Well, this will be my 3rd year that I purchased the Plum Paper Planner for Homeschool, and I can easily say it is worth every single penny. The customization process is online and easy to complete. With options that aren't overwhelming, they just make sense. I love that you can choose to organize your planner by subject matter, or as I do, type in your own content, which I use my students' names, so that I will know what each student has to accomplish for every day or each week. Now, I've seen that another big name planner company recently launched a homeschool planner, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't scope it out. What I will say is that after comparing the Erin Condren homeschool planner to the Plum paper planner for homeschool, the Erin Condren planner is a much more of a blank slate, fill-in-the-blank style, with fewer customization options than the Plum paper planner. For the difference in price, I will stick with the Plum paper planner for this school year in order to save myself from having to fill in each section for each week. I know that some people will probably prefer the blank slate fill-in-as-you-go style of the other planner. For me, I just feel more organized to have the customization of the headers and the sections that fit my classroom. Whatever your style, I highly recommend finding a planner that fits you as a homeschool teacher. Not only will this help you to stay organized, but I like to keep mine to document what subjects my students study, what assignments they accomplish, and the progress that they've made. It helps that the Plum paper planner includes a separate grade book inside just for keeping track of all the assignments and grades as well. I will share a link to this planner in the section below, and I hope that you take a peek at all the customization options. There you have it, my top 10 must-have recommendations for homeschooling. I would love for you to leave me a comment down below with a resource or item that is a must-have for your homeschool classroom. I'm excited to share more details about our upcoming 2023-2024 school year with you all. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, it takes a village.